Now, Mr. Baylis, now that you mentioned that you wish to be a powerful voice for those, there's another thing that I take it very kind of personal, and I wanted to ask you is most politicians during campaign are highlighting all the different crises that we have in housing, health, political crisis, but everyone opt to speak to something that is very fundamental, a fundamental right, which is the drinking water. Mm-hmm. Drinking water for the indigenous community that has been for decades in debate and negotiation. Drinking water has been it's a fundamental right, especially in a country like Canada that has been consecutive year selected as the best country that provides the best quality of life to its citizens. If elected Prime Minister, what would you promise to the indigenous community regarding the drinking water?
So I know that the past government has been tackling these challenges, and there's a lot of challenges in drinking water. First of all, there's just getting it done right away. But there's more than that. Why is the drinking water being polluted? Why is it being polluted? So I don't want to just tackle the drinking water. I want to tackle a clean environment for all people, Canadians, wherever they live. We have a beautiful country. We have to stop poisoning ourselves with the water. This is a wake-up call, not just for what we're doing with Indigenous communities, but for the whole country. Keep poisoning the earth, the air, the water, and you won't even be able to drink it. You reflect on that. So absolutely I'm committed to doing this, not just for Indigenous people. I'm committed to making our environment safe for everybody. And I think what happens in the case of Indigenous people, certain people that live in the north, they're the first ones that started ringing the bell, hey, there's a crisis with the environment. They saw it first. We didn't listen enough. Now they're saying there's a crisis with drinking water. We need to listen and we need to act. So absolutely, it's absolutely critical that we do.
The reason I ask you is because it's been in debate, as far as I know, because I have a very close relationship with Algonquin, the indigenous Algonquin people in Chenevec, in Kittiquan-Civi. And the tax break was approved by the Parliament within weeks, but the drinking water is being in debate and negotiation for so long. Yeah. How can a tax break be approved so quick, but this being in negotiation?
Yeah, like I said, Daniela, whatever the past is the past. And I'm coming to Canadians, I want to give you solutions for tomorrow. And I really think if you want to, I know people love politics, they say, let's argue about this, let's argue about that. I'm not that guy. I'm the engineer, I'm the entrepreneur. I'm looking forward. What do we want to create for Canada? And we live in a wonderful country. Yes, we have these deep challenges. Yes, we have them. I'm not denying that. But I know if we work together, we can take the steps that we can all be proud of. I understand emotionally you're saying to yourself, how is this possible in Canada? How does this make us look in the world? And you're right to ask that question. So I want to say, okay, we're here now. Let's get the job done. And it's not always a law. You see, that's another issue with the career politician. Well, we have to create another law. Create another law. No. Sometimes we need to roll up our sleeves and say, okay, technically we're going to fix it like this. We're going to temporarily do this, and then we're going to give us time to get something better later on. And at the same time, we're going to stop poisoning the water. We're going to stop doing this. So I bring a whole of government approach. And again, it's because I'm not a career politician. I'm not trying to buy your votes by giving you a tax break for 2 minutes, which we all know is not right. I want to invest in our country. I believe in our country, and I believe in all the opportunities for everybody. I call my agenda prosperity for all Canadians, and I mean that sincerely.
That's good, because that's what I believe too. I believe in the well-being and the prosperity of the community. That's the reason I've been doing this community journalism as a volunteer for the last 25 years. My last question, Mr. Baylis, is how prepared are you, if elected the next Prime Minister, to handle President Trump threat to tariff and his remarks that Canada becomes a state of the United States of America?
So first of all, you should all know, your listeners, and you should know, I've been in business and I can't tell you how many hundreds of negotiations I've done with Americans. Hundreds of negotiations. And most of the time, it's very polite, they're firm, they have their needs, I have my needs, and it goes quite well. But I have run into people like Mr. Trump before. I have run into this style of negotiation, and the thing is, I know what he needs. Not what he wants, what he needs. Mr. Trump has a big need, and I know the game he's playing, because I've been there before. So what's happened for Mr. Trump? Mr. Trump got himself elected. The number one reason he was elected was immigration. Illegal immigration that the American people are very, very frustrated with. And they have a problem there. I'm not denying they have a problem there. The thing is, they don't have a problem from Canada.
Yeah.
If you look at the tweets he sends out, he goes, Mexico and Canada, together, 2. But the problem is Mexico. And there's not, Mexicans aren't bad. That is the frontier. That's the problem where they have it. But he already promised to solve that last time. Remember, he was going to build a wall. Nothing happened. And the problem is just as bad or worse. So Mr. Trump has promised the American people that he's going to solve immigration, illegal immigration. Now, he knows Canada's not a problem. We know Canada's not a problem. The Americans know Canada's not a problem. So what's he doing? We call this bait and switch. Canada, look here, look north, look north. This is a big problem with Canada. Big, big, big problem. And so that you don't look south, where the real problem is. And so that in a couple of months, he's going to say, you see, I fixed Canada. Did I do good for immigration? I fixed Canada. The problem Mr. Trump has is Mr. Trudeau did 2 mistakes when he flew down there. First of all, a bully, and bully negotiations, you don't give 1 inch. You give 1 inch, do it like this. No, you give nothing. So you never flow it down. That's it. That was a mistake. But a bigger mistake Mr. Trudeau did is he flew down there, and Mr. Trump said, I need a strong, strong border because of illegal immigration. Mr. Trudeau flew down there and said, Mr. Trump, I will fix everything right away. Well, Mr. Trump goes, wait a minute. Now Mr. Trump says, I don't have a problem. So what does he do? He says, I want no border. Well, wait a minute. First you say you need a strong, strong border, and now you say you want no border. It's ridiculous. Wait, you want strong border? You want no border. What he wants is a fight with Canada. That's what he really wants. Whatever way he can get it. I understand this. And he wants it not because he likes us or hates us, nothing. He's talking to the people that elected him. That's all he cares about. And he knows he's promised some things he's not delivering on. He's trying to call what we call bait and switch. I made you come in, but I'm not giving you what you want. I'm going to give you this instead. The Americans aren't mad with us. They said, yeah, they like us. We like them. We get along with them. I know this game Mr. Trump's playing. I know he has a short time frame to get it done. He cannot do this. If he hits the midterm elections, even before that, and he hasn't got a real solution, people are going to say, hey, you told us you're going to fix things. And that's why he says, no, I fixed Canada. Look here. This is what a magician does. Magician says, look here, so you don't look here. This is what game he's playing. I'm going to go to the American people and say, you know what? While Mr. Trump was tweeting to us, thousands of illegal immigrants came across the border of this state, and he did nothing about it. Then the next day he tweets, I'm going to say, you know what? Mr. Trump attacked Canada again. We have no problem. No one casts the border, and thousands more. If I were you, you elected him to do a job, ask him to do his job. I'm not going to let him get away with this. I'm not intimidated at all. I can look Mr. Trump eye to eye. I am going to protect Canada. I'm going to protect our economy. I'm going to protect our jobs, our businesses. I am absolutely ready for this job. I've done it many times before. I know how to do it. I know how to deal with people like him, and I'm not going to let him touch one aspect of our sovereignty.
That's good to know. And my last, I would say, question that was not even in plan is that I know we are having our own kind of immigration issues too, or crisis. And I always say to people that I meet that people that live in Canada, people that are given that permanent resident or become a Canadian citizen, I believe that that is a privilege.
Yes.
And that is a lifetime opportunity.
Yes.
And I always say to my followers that the reason I decided to do volunteerism is to show Canada and Canadian my wealth of gratitude for giving me and millions of newcomers a second chance in life. And I always said to myself, if you are given a lifetime opportunity, if you are given the privilege to live in this great nation,
yes,
the least that you can do is to contribute to the Canadian society.
Absolutely.
And I always say to people, if I ever become the Prime Minister of Canada, I will change the immigration law and I will say, I will give you the opportunity that thousands of people are dying to come to this country.
Yes, yes.
However, if you decide to go the wrong way, to become a delinquent, to become a criminal and commit serious crime, instead of giving a jail sentence, is deportation. I will agree 100% on that.
I agree on a fundamental aspect you said. This is a wonderful country, and many, many people want to come here. I'll give you a quick story, if I may. My mother was a nurse. She left Barbados. Back then, you couldn't be trained in nurse. You had to go to England. Took a boat.
Okay.
She went after the Second World War. Very hard time. if you come from Barbados to England, you don't have a winter coat. Why do you have a winter coat? She came after the war, was rationing. It took her 6 months, saving a little money every week to buy a winter coat. She decided after a few years to try Canada. She came to Canada. Her first paycheck, she couldn't believe the money. She went to buy a really good winter coat and a sewing machine, because back then women sewed their clothes more. And then she had an attack of panic because she said, oh, they overpaid me and I can't, now you can return everything. Back then you couldn't return it. She says, what I'm going to do? So she didn't know what to do. She kept quiet, and then 2 weeks later, same paycheck comes, same money again. She went to her friend and, is this correct? The woman said, yes, this is our pay. She said, I love Canada. This is the greatest country in the world. I will never, ever leave Canada. This is how my mother brought us up. My dad, the same thing. So when you say we are blessed to live here, I am blessed to live in this wonderful country. And I agree with you in a general sense as that people that take it for granted are wrong, and people that come here and abuse that privilege need to be dealt with. I don't know if it's exactly the way you want to deal with it or not, but absolutely, we have a wonderful country, and we're blessed to come here. And I understand completely that sentiment because I've lived it through my parents.
There you go. Now, Mr. Baylis, what message would you like to send to the ever-growing Latin American people in Canada, which we are reached already over 1 million?
I think, first of all, I think one of the beauties of our world and one of the beauties of Canada is this rich diversity of languages, of cultures, of ethnicities, and I love it. I really love it. I think that it makes us a beautiful nation, and we live and work together so beautifully. As we were talking about, I used to speak better Spanish, but unfortunately I haven't had the chance to practice, and with learning Italian it's kind of messing up my Spanish again, but I love the language too. I understand more than I can speak, but I'm working on that too.
Well, all I have left to say is, Mr. Baylis, once again, thank you very much for making time and joining us today. I wish you nothing but good luck in your leadership race and the best in your political career.
Bueno, gracias por esta oportunidad de hablar contigo y tus seguidores. Gracias.
Un placer.
Un placer.
Good luck.